Spider-Man Far From Home picks up right from the aftermath of Endgame, a world without Tony Stark and a Spider-Man who has doubts whether he actually wants to be a hero. The first Spider-Man movie of the Marvel franchise, Spider-Man Homecoming, was one of my favourite Marvel movies ever made. The humour was spot on, and the twist with Toomes answering the door I consider some excellent script writing that I didn't see coming in what would usually be quite a cliché Marvel storytelling franchise. I knew Far From Home would really have to impress to beat this film, especially after the epic conclusion of Endgame. Spider-Man Far From Home opens up into a Marvel story without Iron Man anymore, and despite his demise in Endgame, the effects of Tony Stark on the world are still felt coursing throughout. Far From Home faces a whole new aspect of Spider-Man, Peter Parker's consideration on whether he truly wants to be a superhero after losing a mentor and father figure, Tony. Feeling the pressure of having to fulfill a role he doesn't feel he deserves. This inner battle of Peter wanting to just go back to school and be normal, while also feeling an obligation to protect and serve the public, is the main focus around the film. And for one of the first times it could be debated, the aspect of action large-scale superhero is put to the side for something more themed around the original comic book story arcs. The movie removes the Avengers from the equation and puts Peter in a foreign country completely alone with no one to turn to. No reassurance that things are going to be okay, and everything serves as a reminder the world is lacking their main charismatic hero, the pivotal Tony Stark, who has been the basis of the movies across the films until now. The only person who still has their full faith in Peter is Aunt May, pushing him to keep being the hero the world needs. Knowing that Tony trusted him and would want him to continue, her trust keeps Peter's doubts within his head, and ultimately, her and Happy's faith in Peter plays a crucial turning point in Peter's decision. Aunt May plays the optimistic role, pushing Peter towards the straight and narrow and driving full faith behind his abilities and the need the public have for Spider-Man now more than ever. Spider-Man has always been a character that struggles to balance his real life alongside his superhero persona. Whether it ruins his family relationships, love interests, or just makes him stressed. These aspects always made Spider-Man feel more relatable and human, with him tackling everyday problems. But for the first time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man feels weak and vulnerable, and this doubt is the main fuel for antagonist Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio to take centre stage. Mysterio was framed a bit awkwardly due to almost every viewer entering the movie knowing he's going to be the major antagonist. However, the film does have enough twists throughout to keep me engaged despite entering the film with some prior knowledge. Originally penned as another out-of-world threat that randomly appeared, Mysterio appears cliché, with the main redeeming feature being Jake Gyllenhaal's excellent portrayal. He begins to take over the father figure role and manipulate Peter due to his vulnerability after losing Iron Man. The film eventually leans on Mysterio being the Iron Man replacement the film has been searching for, drawing parallels with costume and his abilities. Mysterio fires mist-styled lasers from his hands compared to Iron Man's normal lasers. They both fly, and the costume is similarly futuristic, themed with its glowing lights and strips, and the slight robot voice modulation, not to mention the actors' slight facial similarities. This makes the twist far more surprising to a more casual viewer who may not have understood and expected Mysterio to be the new Iron Man. The facade of the cliché alien from another planet is finally broken with Mysterio, revealing he is an ex-disgruntled employee of Tony Stark, helping reinforce some of the similarities between the two characters. The betrayal of Mysterio lingers on Peter's conscience and adds to the theme of whether he is truly ready to be trusted to make a good and correct judgment, leading to a conversation with Happy, creating one of the most pivotal and emotional scenes of the movie, with the true influence Tony has had over Peter being shown as he constructs his suit under the observation of a proud mentor figure Happy, seeing Peter reach his true potential. Ultimately, the film makes Peter and the audience realise the world, or perhaps maybe the big screen, doesn't need a completely new Iron Man. No one could ever replace Tony, but no one has to. The world just needs someone who can keep them safe, whether it's a smart or egotistical tech mongol, or a teen who got bitten by a radioactive spider. This revelation brings out the true Spider-Man to witness in all its glory, including bringing back the now famous but rebranded power, the Peter Tingle. Peter manages his main relationship balanced by the fact MJ figures out the obvious fact that Peter is Spider-Man. This was a necessary change in this movie, as it was beginning to be too much of a plot convenience that none of Peter's friends had managed to figure out that he keeps disappearing and is obviously Spider-Man. However, the end credit scene flips the style entirely, as the world finally figures out who Spider-Man is. Marvel does a great job of making a variety of locations feel like a small, close-knit story focusing on mourning, insecurity and doubt. And now with Tom Holland's Spider-Man identity out to the public, what is the next step for Marvel after they have successfully recovered from the aftermath of Endgame? Hey guys, it's Connor, just wanting to say thank you for watching my first of many video essays. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, liking and engaging in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.